Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Luke, broadcasting out of Virginia. It's June 3rd, 2014. I haven't made a video in a while. I've been still on the same regimen, raw till about 6 or 4 every day, and then I make a cooked dinner for my family. Today I wanted to make a short video about eating foods that are living in your diet. Now, the first one I'll talk about is wheatgrass. I grew this here in my kitchen. Now, this was extremely easy to grow and really cheap to buy. I did it with my kid. She loved it, and she gets to see the whole process. So it's educational for your kids, and then, we all eat this. She even eats it because, she partook in growing it. So I've grown a lot of this stuff. Like, here's like a tray. I cut this one, and when I cut them down to about here, and they've already grown back in like 2 days to actually a thicker version than what they were. You can cut these about 3 times and consume the grass about 3 times before they're kind of, there's not much juice left in them. A lot of people juice it, but I personally throw big, handfuls of it into my shakes twice a day. So I get a good amount of chlorophyll that's present in the wheatgrass, as well as living enzymes. I directly consumed something that was living like 5 seconds before I ingested it. So your body gets living enzymes into your diet that you are just not getting if you're eating a traditional American diet. You're not ever getting like any of that content. No, most people that I know, and the way I ate was basically burgers, fries. I would eat potatoes, meat for dinner sometimes, and it was all cooked. Vegetables, maybe half a serving a day, maybe 2 if I was really pushing it. But in this way, not only do I get probably in a day 20 servings, 30 servings of fruits and vegetables, I also get living foods in my diet, which are in a lot of ways more important than consuming the raw foods. Now, there's sort of, strata with which you can kind of gauge your raw diet. Now, another way you can kind of eat raw and eat even healthier than just raw fruits and vegetables, which you always, I believe, should keep those at an extremely high level in your diet, is you can eat foods that are fermented or are living, like the wheatgrass is a good example of a living food you can eat. Really easy to grow. The whole thing cost me like $6 to make completely, and I made all of this. The stuff you see behind me, these two right here, really cheap and easy. But another option is to eat stuff like kimchi. All right. Kimchi is a cabbage. It's a staple of a Korean diet. I lived in Korea for about 4 years, and I fell in love with this stuff. At first, I thought it was just disgusting. I never liked it. But the more I lived over there and, ate in the Korean culture, I fell in love with it. It's just a cabbage that they take, rub garlic and hot pepper paste all over, and they ferment it in the ground for about a year. And there's a lot of food in other, especially Asian cultures, that ferment vegetables. When they do this, they break down with the probiotic bacteria that develop and like to live in, the fermented vegetable environment. They break down the vegetables and the macronutrients that are present in them. Like, if there's carbohydrates, it'll break them down into a more usable form of carbohydrates. And if there's fats, it'll break them down into omega-3 fatty acids you can consume more readily. And if there's protein, it'll break it down into amino acids, which is excellent if you're, lifting or just a person in general. Also, you get the advent of the probiotic bacteria. You're eating them directly. You get a mass amount of them rather than just taking the probiotics, which you should already be taking in the mornings. You're also getting it in your diet. This is a way to it makes you feel great. Again, leveling out the gut flora in your stomach is one of the best ways to really manipulate your health and to just feel better in general. And I'm kind of adding more and more living and more fermented foods into my diet, and really also eating raw until about 6. It's just making me feel so much better than I ever have in my whole life. And there's other options besides eating stuff like kimchi. You can also get like your own systems going where you can take vegetables you like and ferment them, get like probiotic cultures. You can get kombucha. There's other stuff. I'm looking into it still myself. I'll find more avenues with which to put this stuff into my diet, and I will put videos on YouTube of how I do it. For the wheatgrass, super easy. Just type in wheatgrass tutorial into the YouTube, and it'll come up with 100 videos. There's people that sell kits that are completely organic and are great. They're a little more expensive, though, than you need to pay. You can go to your local stores like Lowe's, Whole Foods, and the dollar store, which